Okay, so this video is following on from the previous video where we got a ESP32 running in CodeSpaces to publish some mqtt data. So now we want to do the or subscribe to that topic so we can actually see that data and make use of it in a Python program. So the things we're going to try and do here, or demonstrate, is create a CodeSpaces using a blank template, create a Python program in there just to make sure that's all working, install the Python extension, create a virtual environment for that Python program so we can install the appropriate libraries. We'll then adjust the Python code that will do the subscription, and we'll just make sure that we're getting all the data across. So let's go. So if we go to CodeSpaces, and we can get to CodeSpaces by going into GitHub and clicking on this little menu item on the top left, and then choosing CodeSpaces. I've already done that, so I'm in CodeSpaces already. So the first step is we'll make use of a blank template. And that will take us a short while to get started, and I'll probably cut this out. Okay, so after a short period of time, we end up with our CodeSpaces environment set up. So now we'll go ahead and do the things that we need to do to get the Python program running. First of all, there's a few things here that we could choose. I'm going to ignore most of this, although I will just scroll down here. Let me just first move this around a little bit so I can get that out of the way. You just close the terminal. Don't have to do that, but I'll just close it so I can see this a little bit more clearly. I'm going to choose a theme just so I can do this dark modern. And that's about it in terms of that setup. At this stage, there's other things I could use this for. But I'm going to close it and get into the Python programming side of things. So over on the left here, I can make a choice to select a new file, and I'll just call this test sub1.py. Now, because I add the .py, it recognizes that, and it will just most likely automatically prompt me to install the Python extension. If it didn't do this, then I could go over to the extensions and install it a different way, but I'll just go with this and install the Python extension. Again, we can see this occurring over here. We'll wait a moment for that to install. This should be pretty quick. Okay, that's now all installed. Again, I could choose some things from here if I chose to. Particularly, one of the things we're going to look at here is to create a Python environment, and I could, in fact, I might actually do that at this stage. So if I go back into here, I can see that I just have the one file that I've created, that I do want to have a virtual environment at some stage. So I'll just click on that and scroll down, and I can see here it says to create an environment for your Python project, or select the Python interpreter, or to use an existing one. But I think if we click on this button, yes, this will just prompt us up here. Again, I could have done this a different way by just going through here, going into the command palette and typing env for environment, create Python environment. I would have got to the same point. At this stage, I can select that option. And from here, it gives us a number of different options. And I'm just going to go for this top one. I am not too sure about the differences between, in terms of what differences would occur if I chose the second one here, but they are both using Python 3.12.3, which will be fine. So it's creating the environment, and we can see here we've now got this vendor folder here, and at this stage, I'm just going to close this welcome tab because I don't need it anymore. So we'll just check that we can run a Python program here. So I'll just type a simple Python program. Hello world. And again, I'll move that away. We should have the run button up here. So I should be able to run this and we should see that's actually worked. So at this stage, we know we've got Python working in our code space. But what we need to do now is to create the program to actually do the subscription to the MQTT. Now there is, if I can find it here, I'll put the link for this particular site. This is a site where you can get some code which will actually do what we're after here. It talks about how you can publish code. It gives us some background on MQTT. It's very useful. I'm essentially going to take or use the code that does the subscription part, the Python code that does the subscription part from here. But there are some changes I'm going to make to it. I'm going to change this part to the correct broker. In this version of Paho mqtt.Client, there was some changes made with the current version, and this line, I think it's this line. I can't remember. One of these lines needs to change. I think it's this line here, the client line. This particular bit of code needs to change, and also this here will sleep it for 30 seconds, which means after 30 seconds it stops. So I have taken that code already and made some adjustments to it. We can see here this is the adjustment to the correct the correct callback that I need for this current version of it, of Paho mqtt. I've changed it to 120 seconds down here, and sorry, the other change I needed to make was this one down here. In fact, I needed to make another change as well. I need to subscribe to the same topic that I'm going to publish on, and that was the actual string. So that doesn't have to be anything particular. It just has to be the same as the topic that I'm actually publishing on to this broker address. They're the kind of two things that are important to be able to receive the data. Okay, so I can take this code and I can go back into our CodeSpaces and just paste that code in. Now, the kind of immediate issue we have is that that this isn't installed yet, and what I need to do is to install that library. If we were to go into, I think it's in, I can't remember now. I think it's in the bin, but anyway, we can check this shortly. What I need to be able to do is install this library, and what I can do is go to Paho. I thought I had that open. I must have closed it before. Paho mqtt. Let's go to that site, and that's what I'm after. This is the pip instruction that I require, so I'll just grab that pip instruction. I'll come back into here, and I just need to make sure that I'm in the virtual environment here, which at this stage I am in. Let me just check that. So I do have a virtual environment, and it is activated, I believe, at this stage. So let me just paste that in. I'll allow that. And let's now run that code. And it installed it. Now, what I should see, if I've done this correctly, is that this has now been included. Does it include the library? Sorry, is what I'm after. It's now within the library, so that should be okay. Now at this stage, it has cleared the underlining here, which is good. So hopefully this will run, but At the moment, I need to make sure that the data is actually being published. So I'm going to go back into the WOCWI, just making sure that we're publishing to the same broker, which it is set to, and the same topic. On this one, there is some humidity data that I'll just ignore, but this is the temperature stuff that I'm after. So let's publish that MQTT data, and this board makes a connection, and I can see that data has been published. So now what I can do, I can just let that run away or keep running. If I go back over to my program, doesn't want to move that at this stage. Anyway, let me just run the program. And at this stage, I don't see anything, but the program is running. Let me just go back to see that some data is coming out of there. I'll just make an adjustment to the temperature. It doesn't really matter what I make it to, but if we wait here for a short period of time, we should see that data point being published. And if we return to the program, we can see that that has been received. So we can just check it with a second data point just to make sure that nothing funny is not happening there, or nothing strange isn't happening, or that it is operating correctly. And so I've just changed the temperature. In a moment, that will stop for some reason. So I'll just stop that program from running. I'll have to start again. So sometimes this WOCWI client doesn't run for an extended period of time. Other times it just runs for hours on end. So I can see here now that it's been published. And if I go back to here, I can see that has been received by the Python program. So that's it.